My in-laws undermined my career and controlled financial decisions until I achieved stability and self-reliance. Then I made a calm choice that shifted influence and established respect without any arguments. We've decided you'll be taking the position at Richard's firm, my father-in-law announced across the dinner table, not asking, just telling. I set down my fork. My wife nodded along like this was already settled. I was 28, married for 3 years, and apparently still needed permission to choose my own career. The worst part? I'd been about to decline that exact offer because I had something better lined up. Something I'd worked toward for 2 years. Something that didn't involve working under my wife's family's thumb. But sitting there, watching everyone discuss my future like I wasn't even present, I realized I'd been letting this happen for far too long. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. My wife, Rachel, came from money. Old money. The kind that came with expectations and strings attached to everything. Her father, Richard, owned a commercial real estate development company. Her mother, Patricia, sat on various charity boards and orchestrated family decisions with the precision of a military general. I came from a middle-class background, worked my way through college, and landed a decent job as a project manager at a mid-sized construction firm. When Rachel and I got married, I thought I was joining a family. Turned out I was joining a corporation. The salary is competitive, Richard continued, swirling his wine. You'd start as a senior project coordinator, report directly to me, and have a clear path to partnership within 5 years. I appreciate the offer. I started, but Patricia cut me off. It's a wonderful opportunity, dear. Much better than that little company you're with now. Little company. We'd just completed a $40 million mixed-use development. But facts didn't matter when Patricia had made up her mind. Rachel reached over and squeezed my hand under the table. Not in solidarity. In warning. Don't rock the boat. Don't embarrass us. Don't be ungrateful. I'd learned to read her signals over the years. Can I think about it? I asked. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Think about it. Richard's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. What's there to think about? I have another offer I'm considering, I said carefully. Rachel's hand tightened on mine, nails digging in slightly. Another offer? Patricia's perfectly plucked eyebrows rose. From whom? Anderson and Cole. They're offering me a director position, leading their expansion into the Southwest region. Silence. Then Richard laughed. Actually laughed. Anderson and Cole? They're contractors, not developers. You'd be managing construction sites, dealing with subcontractors and labor disputes. That's not a career, that's a job. It's a 30% pay increase, I said evenly. Money isn't everything, Patricia said, which was rich coming from someone who'd never worried about money a day in her life. Family is what matters, Richard added. Working together, building something together. That's worth more than any salary. I wanted to point out that I'd been trying to build something with Rachel for 3 years, and her family had been undermining it at every turn. When we were looking at houses, they'd insisted we take the condo they owned downtown instead of buying something ourselves. When I suggested we save for a down payment on our own place, Patricia had gasped like I'd suggested we live in a cardboard box. When Rachel wanted to go back to school for her master's, I'd supported it completely. But when I'd mentioned doing the same, Richard had scoffed and said I needed to focus on real work, not more education. Every financial decision, every career move, every major life choice went through them first. And I'd let it happen because Rachel asked me to. Because keeping the peace was easier than fighting. Because I loved her, and I thought eventually they'd see me as more than just the guy who married into the family. I need to discuss this with Rachel first, I said finally. Discuss what? Rachel asked, her smile tight. This is an amazing opportunity that I haven't agreed to yet. The drive home was silent. Rachel stared out the window, jaw clenched. We pulled into the parking garage of the condo. Their condo, the one we paid below market rent for, which meant we never quite felt like it was ours. Inside, Rachel finally turned on me. What was that? What was what? Embarrassing my father like that. Making it seem like his offer wasn't good enough. I didn't say it wasn't good enough. I said I had another offer to consider. From Anderson and Cole. She said the name like it tasted bad. You didn't even mention you were interviewing. I didn't mention it because every time I bring up my career, your family shuts it down or steers it in the direction they want. They're trying to help you. They're trying to control me, Rachel. There's a difference. She crossed her arms. That's not fair, isn't it? When's the last time we made a decision without running it by your parents first? They have experience. They've built wealth and success. Why wouldn't we listen to their advice? Advice is one thing. This isn't advice. Your father announced I'd be taking a job I never applied for. He didn't ask, he told me. Because it's a great opportunity that I don't want. She blinked. What? I don't want to work for your father, Rachel. I don't want to report to him, have family dinners turn into performance reviews, and spend the rest of my career being the son-in-law who works for Richard instead of the person who built something on his own. On your own. Her laugh was bitter. You think you did everything on your own? And there it was. The thing that had been lurking beneath the surface of every argument, every discussion about money or career or the future. What's that supposed to mean? It means you act like you're some self-made man. But who paid for our wedding? Who gave us this condo? Who introduced you to half the contacts that got you where you are? Each question hit like a slap. I never asked for any of that. But you took it. You took all of it. And now you want to act like you don't owe them anything. I don't owe them my career, Rachel. I don't owe them my autonomy. You owe them respect. You owe them gratitude. I've given them both. What I won't give them is control over every aspect of our lives. She shook her head, tears forming. I can't believe you're being this selfish. I'm selfish for wanting to make my own career decisions. You're selfish for not considering what this means for us. For our future. You take the Anderson and Cole job, you're traveling constantly. You're never home. We're trying to start a family, and you want to be on the road? We hadn't discussed starting a family. Or rather, Rachel and her mother had discussed it, and I'd been informed of the timeline. When did we decide we were trying for a baby? Don't. Her voice cracked. Don't make this about something else. It's all connected, Rachel. Every decision in our life gets made by committee, and I'm not even a voting member. That's not true. Then tell me the last major decision we made where your parents didn't weigh in. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Opened it again. Closed it. They love us, she said finally. They want what's best for us. What they think is best for us. There's a difference. I walked to the bedroom, exhausted. She didn't follow. I took the Anderson and Cole position. The fallout was immediate and spectacular. Richard called me personally, voice cold. This is a mistake. You're throwing away a real future for a temporary ego boost. Patricia cried to Rachel about how I was tearing the family apart. Rachel stopped speaking to me beyond basic necessities. We existed in the same space, but lived separate lives. I threw myself into work. The new position was demanding, exactly as Richard had predicted. I traveled 3 weeks out of 4, overseeing projects across Arizona, New Mexico, and Nevada. But I was good at it. Really good. Within 6 months, I'd brought 3 major projects in under budget and ahead of schedule. The company noticed. My boss noticed. I got promoted to regional director with another significant raise. I was making more money than I ever had, and for the first time in years, I felt like I was building something that was mine. Rachel noticed the money too. She'd been icing me out for months, but when my salary jumped again, suddenly she was interested in conversation. We should think about buying a house, she said one night over dinner. First meal we'd shared in weeks. I thought your parents wanted us to stay in the condo. We can't live here forever. And with your new salary, we could afford something really nice. Something clicked. What does your mom think about that? She hesitated. She thinks it's time we had our own place too. And your dad? Another hesitation. He thinks we should wait, build up more savings first. But you want to buy now. I think we're ready. I set down my fork. Rachel, are we okay? What do you mean? I mean, you haven't really spoken to me in 6 months. You sided with your parents when I took this job. And now suddenly you want to make major decisions together. I was hurt. You made a huge decision without really considering my input. Your input, or your parents' input? Both. They're connected. You know that. And that was the problem, wasn't it? Her parents weren't just family. They were the board of directors for our marriage. I don't want to buy a house right now, I said. Why not? Because I'm not sure where we stand. Her face paled. What are you saying? I'm saying I took this job to prove something to myself. That I could make my own decisions, build my own career, succeed on my own terms. And I did. But we're not a partnership, Rachel. We're you and your parents, and then me somewhere on the outside. That's not fair, isn't it? When's the last time you took my side against them? She stood up, shaking. I'm your wife. Then act like it. She left the room. I sat there in the silence of a condo that never felt like home, wondering how we'd gotten here. The answer, of course, was that we'd always been here. I'd just been too busy trying to prove myself worthy to notice. Things deteriorated further. Rachel suggested marriage counseling. I agreed. Her mother suggested a specific counselor she knew from the club. I refused. Another fight. We found a neutral therapist, Dr. Martinez, who specialized in family dynamics and marriage counseling. The first session was brutal. I feel like he resents my family, Rachel said. Like he's angry at them for being successful and supportive. I don't resent their success, I countered. I resent their control. Can you give me an example? Dr. Martinez asked. I listed everything. The job offer that was announced, not discussed. The condo we were expected to live in. The wedding they planned and paid for, which meant they got final say on everything. The timeline for having children that was presented to me, not discussed with me. Rachel's face flushed. Those were all just suggestions. Suggestions that became arguments when I disagreed with them. Because your disagreements weren't reasonable. Dr. Martinez held up a hand. Rachel, can you understand why your husband might feel like his autonomy is being limited? I understand he feels that way. I don't understand why. My parents have given us so much. At what cost? Dr. Martinez asked gently. Rachel's eyes filled with tears. Are you saying I should choose between my husband and my family? I'm asking if you can see that there might be a middle ground where both can exist healthily. This is healthy. This is how families support each other. And there it was. To Rachel, this was normal. This was love. This was how successful families operated. The idea that it might be suffocating never occurred to her because she'd never lived any other way. We left that session with homework. Each of us was supposed to write down what we needed to feel secure and respected in the marriage. I wrote mine that night. Rachel took 2 weeks. When we returned to Dr. Martinez's office, the atmosphere was tense. Let's hear what you both came up with, Dr. Martinez said. I went first. I need to make career decisions without family interference. I need us to make financial decisions together, just the two of us, before consulting anyone else. I need to live in a home that's ours, not subsidized or controlled by anyone else. And I need Rachel to be my partner first, daughter second. Silence. Rachel's paper crinkled in her hands. Rachel, Dr. Martinez prompted. I need him to respect my family. I need him to be grateful for the opportunities they've provided. I need him to understand that family input isn't control, it's support. And I need him to stop acting like wanting to work with my father is some kind of prison sentence. We'd written completely different assignments. I'd written about partnership and autonomy. She'd written about defending her family. Dr. Martinez leaned back. I'm seeing a fundamental disconnect here. Rachel, you're viewing your family's involvement as positive and necessary. Is that accurate? Yes. And you, she turned to me, are viewing it as limiting and controlling. Yes. Can you both see that you're both right from your own perspectives? I can see his perspective, Rachel said. I just think it's wrong. My heart sank. Help me understand why you think it's wrong, Dr. Martinez said. Because family is supposed to be involved. That's what makes them family. My parents aren't trying to control us. They're trying to guide us. They have wisdom and experience we don't have. And do you think there's ever a time when that guidance should step back? Of course, when we ask them to. But what if your husband is saying that he's asking them to, and they're not? Rachel's jaw tightened. He's not asking them. He's shutting them out. He took a job specifically to avoid working with my father. That's not asking for space. That's rejection. Is that how you meant it? Dr. Martinez asked me. No. I took the job because it was a better opportunity for me professionally. The fact that it wasn't with Richard was a bonus because it meant I could succeed or fail on my own merit, not because I was family. Do you hear what he's saying? Dr. Martinez asked Rachel. He's talking about merit and autonomy. I hear him saying my family's help doesn't count, that everything they've done for us is worthless because it came from them. We were speaking different languages. After 6 months of counseling, we weren't any closer to resolution. Dr. Martinez was gentle but honest in our final session. I think you two love each other very much. But you have fundamentally different views on what marriage looks like, particularly when it comes to family involvement. Unless one of you is willing to significantly shift your position, I'm not sure this can be reconciled. Rachel cried in the car. I felt numb. We stopped going to counseling. We stopped talking about the big issues. We coexisted. I focused on work. Rachel spent more time with her parents. Then I got the offer that changed everything. Anderson & Cole was acquired by a massive international construction and development firm. As part of the acquisition, they offered me a vice president position overseeing all North American operations. The salary was triple what I'd been making. The benefits included full relocation assistance, housing allowance, and a signing bonus that would let me buy a house outright in most markets. There was one catch. The position was based in Seattle. I sat with the offer letter for 3 days before telling Rachel. When I did, her reaction was exactly what I expected. Seattle? You want to move across the country? I want us to move. My entire life is here. My family, my friends, everything. My career opportunity is in Seattle. So you're choosing your career over our marriage. I'm choosing my career as part of our marriage. Rachel, this is the kind of opportunity people dream about. And you're dreaming about it 2,000 miles away from everyone who matters. You matter. We matter. Or we should. She shook her head. I can't believe you'd even consider this. Can't believe or won't allow. What's that supposed to mean? It means you've never once considered what I want, Rachel. Not really. Every decision we make has to fit into your family's plan, your family's expectations. I'm not even a person in this marriage. I'm a supporting character. That's not true. Then come with me to Seattle. Just us. No input from Richard or Patricia. No phone calls about what we should do. Just make this one decision based on what's best for us as a couple. She stared at me for a long moment. Then she said the words I'd been expecting but still hurt to hear. I can't or won't. I need to talk to my parents first. And there it was. Even now, even faced with this crossroads, she needed permission. No, I said quietly. No, Rachel. You don't get to outsource this decision. This is about us. Just us. You either want to build a life with me, or you don't. How dare you make this an ultimatum? You've been making ultimatums our entire marriage. Every time I've wanted something that didn't fit your family's vision, you've made me choose. Stay in the condo or disappoint your parents. Take your dad's job offer or be ungrateful. Plan our life around their timeline or be selfish. I'm done choosing. So what are you saying? I'm saying I'm taking the Seattle position, and I'd love for you to come with me, to start fresh somewhere where we can figure out who we are without an audience. But if you can't do that, if you need to call your parents before you can decide whether to stay married to me, then I think we have our answer. She called her parents immediately. I could hear Patricia's voice through the phone, shrill with indignation. Richard got on and demanded to speak with me. I declined. Rachel relayed their message anyway. They think you're being irrational. They want us to sit down as a family and discuss this properly. There's nothing to discuss. I've been offered a position. I'm taking it. You're my wife, so you get first consideration on whether you're coming with me. But your parents don't get a vote. They're family. They're your parents. I'm your husband. There's a hierarchy, Rachel, and you've had it backwards our entire marriage. She didn't come to bed that night, or the next several nights. She stayed at her parents' house, and I knew they were working on her, convincing her that I was the villain in this story. 2 weeks later, she returned to the condo. She looked exhausted. We need to talk, she said. I'd been expecting this. Okay. My parents want to buy us a house here. A real house, not a condo. Your name on the deed, everything equal. And my father is willing to offer you a partnership position, not just senior coordinator. Full equity stake, decision-making power. On the condition that I stay. On the condition that we stay. That we build our life here, near family. And if I say no, her eyes filled with tears, then I think we both know where that leaves us. I nodded slowly. I'm not trying to hurt you, she said. I'm trying to save our marriage. By asking me to give up the biggest opportunity of my career and put myself back under your parents' control. It's not control. It's family. Rachel, do you love me? Of course I love you. Do you love me enough to choose me over them? She couldn't answer. That silence told me everything. I accepted the Seattle position the next day. I hired a moving company and started packing. Rachel watched from the doorway, not helping, not hindering. This is really happening, she said. Yeah. I thought you'd change your mind. I thought you'd choose us. I am choosing us. I'm trying to keep us together. By asking me to give up everything I've worked for. You're asking me to do the same. And maybe she was right. Maybe I was asking her to leave behind her entire support system, her family, her life. But the difference was, I'd been ready to build something new together. She wanted to keep building on the foundation her parents had laid. We filed for divorce 3 weeks before I left for Seattle. It was amicable, if divorce can ever be that. We split what little we'd accumulated together. The condo was in her parents' name, so that wasn't an issue. No kids, no shared property to speak of. Just years of trying to merge two incompatible visions of what marriage should be. Her parents didn't attend the final paperwork signing. Richard sent a message through Rachel's lawyer saying I'd made a huge mistake and would regret throwing away my future with their family. Patricia sent nothing. Rachel cried when we signed the papers. So did I? I really did love you, she said. I know. I loved you too. Past tense. I don't think love is our problem, Rachel. I think compatibility is. She nodded, wiping her eyes. My therapist says the same thing. She'd started seeing someone after I'd accepted the Seattle job. Without her parents' input on which therapist to choose, I hoped. Are you happy? She asked as we walked out of the lawyer's office for the last time. No, but I think I will be. I hope so. I hope you are too. She smiled sadly. My parents think I'll meet someone better. Better than what? Better than someone who couldn't appreciate what we offered. There it was again. We. Not Rachel. We. She was so enmeshed with her parents that she couldn't separate her identity from theirs. And I couldn't spend my life being the outsider in my own marriage. Seattle was everything I needed it to be. The job was challenging, demanding, and entirely mine. I bought a small house in Fremont. Nothing fancy, but every decision about it was mine alone. I furnished it slowly, piece by piece, choosing things I actually liked instead of things that fit someone else's aesthetic. I made friends through work, joined a climbing gym, started seeing a therapist to work through the divorce and everything that led to it. Dr. Chun was straightforward in a way I appreciated. You married into a family system that didn't have room for you as an equal partner. That's not a failure on your part. That's incompatibility. Rachel thought I was the problem. Of course she did. She was raised in that system. To her, it's normal, healthy even, but that doesn't make it right for everyone. Should I have tried harder? You went to counseling. You tried to communicate. You gave her multiple opportunities to choose partnership over enmeshment. What more could you have done? Stayed. Accepted their help. Been grateful. At what cost? That question haunted me. At what cost? My career? My autonomy? My sense of self? 6 months into my Seattle life, I was thriving professionally. The company was expanding faster than projected, and I was at the center of it. I was featured in Construction Executive magazine for innovative project management. I spoke at industry conferences. I was building the exact career I'd envisioned on my own terms. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello. It's Richard. I sat down. Richard. Hi. I wanted to reach out. See how you're doing. I'm doing well. How's Rachel? She's fine. Dating someone from the club. A lawyer. Of course. Someone pre-approved by the family. That's good. I'm glad she's happy. Are you happy? The question caught me off guard. Yeah, I am. I saw the article in Construction Executive. Impressive work. Thank you. Silence. Then, I owe you an apology. I nearly dropped the phone. What? I was wrong. About the job. About trying to bring you into the company. About all of it. I thought I was helping, but I was controlling. Patricia pointed it out after you left. Said I treated you like an employee instead of a son-in-law. I appreciate that. You made the right call, taking the Anderson and Cole position. You needed to build your own thing. I should have respected that. This was surreal. I don't know what to say. Say you'll accept my apology. Say we can move forward without all that baggage. Richard, I'm divorced from your daughter. I don't think moving forward is really an option. I know, but I wanted you to know that I see it now. What we did. How we pushed you out by trying to pull you in. Does Rachel see it? Pause. She's getting there. Therapy is helping. Good for her. Really, I meant that. I hope she finds what she's looking for, I said. She loved you, you know. Still does, I think. I loved her too. But love isn't enough when you want different lives. No, Richard agreed. It's not. We talked for a few more minutes, cordial and distant. When we hung up, I felt lighter. Not vindicated exactly, but validated. I hadn't been crazy or ungrateful or selfish. I'd been someone who wanted partnership and autonomy. And there was nothing wrong with that. A year after the move, I met someone at a work conference in Portland. Her name was Diana, and she was a project architect with her own firm. We talked for hours about building codes and sustainable design and the challenges of managing remote teams. Then we talked about other things. Books and hiking and whether pineapple belonged on pizza. She was smart and funny and completely independent. She'd built her career from scratch, no family money or connections. Just talent and determination and a willingness to take risks. When I told her about Rachel and the divorce, she listened without judgment. Sounds like you made the healthy choice, she said. Sometimes it doesn't feel healthy. Sometimes it just feels lonely. Lonely is better than suffocated. She was right. We started dating long distance, meeting halfway in Portland or Seattle every few weeks. She never asked me to give up anything for the relationship. She never suggested I check with anyone before making decisions. She treated me like an equal partner from day one. It was revolutionary. 6 months in, she got an offer to relocate her firm to Seattle. Would you be okay with that? She asked. I don't want you to feel like I'm moving for you. This is a legitimate business opportunity, but I also want to be closer to you. So the motivation is mixed. Are you asking my permission? No. I'm telling you my thought process and asking your opinion. That's the sexiest thing anyone's ever said to me. She laughed. Your bar is disturbingly low. You have no idea. She moved to Seattle. We moved in together a year later. She met my parents, who loved her immediately. I met hers, who were kind and welcoming and asked me questions about my life without trying to manage it. It was everything a relationship should be. Partnership without control. Support without strings. Love without conditions. 2 years after the divorce was finalized, I got a message from Rachel. Just a simple text. I saw you got engaged. Congratulations. You deserve to be happy. I showed Diana. Do you want to respond? She asked. Yeah, I think I do. I wrote back. Thank you. I hope you're happy too. She replied immediately, getting there. Therapy helps. So does distance from certain influences. I smiled. Maybe she'd figured it out after all. Maybe leaving had been good for both of us. Diana and I got married in a small ceremony in the San Juan Islands. My parents were there, Diana's parents, a handful of close friends. No extended family drama. No one trying to manage the guest list or the venue or the menu. Just two people choosing each other, freely and completely. During our vows, Diana promised to be my partner, my equal, my teammate. I promised the same. No one objected. No one tried to add their own conditions. It was the simplest, most genuine moment of my life. At the reception, my dad pulled me aside. You did good, son. This one's right for you. Yeah, she is. Rachel was a good person, but that family. He shook his head. Some people can't see past their own way of doing things. She's working on it. Good for her. But I'm glad you didn't wait around for her to figure it out. Me too. That night, lying next to Diana in our hotel room, I thought about the journey that had brought me here. The years of feeling inadequate and controlled. The slow realization that I deserved better. The courage to choose myself even when it meant losing everything familiar. The divorce that had devastated me, but ultimately freed me. And finally, the relationship that showed me what partnership actually looked like. It hadn't been easy, but it had been worth it. What are you thinking about? Diana murmured, half asleep. How lucky I am. Sappy. True though. She smiled and pulled me closer. And for the first time in my adult life, I felt completely at peace. No one was waiting for me to prove myself. No one was judging my decisions. No one was trying to control my path. I was just me. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything.